First, we got Twisted. I'm going to show you the ambience of Twisted, such as thunder and the rain sounds. Here are the thunder and the rain sounds from Twisted I've collected. And here are the heavy rain sounds. Now, while these sounds are very, very well made and very, very well designed, you don't really hear them that much, as the car sounds usually drain out the sounds of the rain and the thunder. Compared to Helicity, where you can actually hear them very well, as in Helicity, which is kind of a downside compared to Twisted, you can't turn off car sounds, which is kind of annoying. So I will give a point to Twisted there. But in Helicity, you can notice the rain sounds and thunder sounds a lot better, as well as they also make sounds when they hit your car, which is a lot more attention to detail in Twisted. Anyway, here are the samples I collected. As shown there, you can even hear the hail sounds hitting the car at one point, which I'll play right here again for you if you haven't heard. So when it comes to thunder and rain, I do feel Twisted has better sounds, but when it comes to the actual quality of the car being hit by hail and the rain, it's definitely Helicity who wins on that aspect. So I'm going to call this a draw between the two. Next up, we have the actual tornado sounds from these two games, which are the main aspects I wanted to talk about between Twisted and Helicity's sound design. Here are the sound designs between Helicity's tornado sounds and Twisted's tornado sounds. Now those are Twisted's light wind sounds. Here are Twisted's heavy wind sounds when you're in over a 200-mile-an-hour tornado, basically. And again, while these sounds are pretty well, usually the car does drain them out as well again, which is kind of realistic, kind of not, but moving on. Well, I feel like 1.20 had better high-speed wind sounds. Here's an example if you haven't heard them already. I feel like we've downgraded in 1.21 from that hissing loud sound of 1.20 that made you feel that terrifying fear you're about to get lifted in TIV 2. Oh, we're up against 217! 217! I feel like we're missing that nowadays, and it's just not there, you know, it's not the same as it was, and, you know, it's just how it is. Anyway, moving on, we're going to go to Helicity's tornado sounds, Twisted's powerline sounds, and ambience, and then we're going to move on from this topic. Anyway, let's just go show that you right now. And that's Helicity's tornado sounds. Now moving on to Twisted's power flash sounds, which is a little bonus I wanted to add. Those are Twisted's powerline sounds, which Helicity does not have, so point towards Twisted. And here are Helicity's day ambience and night ambience, which Twisted does not have. Subtle things like this really make me appreciate the quality that the Helicity's developers put into the game. But finally, we're going to move on from the sound design topic, as it's been a very, very long topic in this video. But between the two, I think Helicity's quality of sounds just beats Twisted for its horror factor and just the ambience in general. I do think if Twisted added back their 1.20 high-speed wind sounds, it might beat out Helicity's horror factor. By horror factor, I mean how scary it is being inside a tornado, but that's just my opinion. Finally, time to move on to our next topic in this video. Now you're probably wondering what I mean by scaling. By scaling, I mean the size between vehicles, tornadoes, and just everything in general. How everything scales with each other and how accurate it is. Now, between Twisted and Helicity, it may look like Twisted's scaling isn't that bad, but I have some really damning images that show you that Twisted's scaling is not the greatest. Here are the images I have. Now, most people don't really care about scaling, and if you look closely, obviously, it doesn't really matter, but I'm kind of nitpicking this part a little bit, being a little nitpick in this little section here, but in scaling, I would say that Helicity does scaling a lot better than Twisted. The size of tornadoes in Helicity makes you feel they're like gigantic, even if they're drill bits, compared to Twisted, where they just feel like they're not that tall unless you actually have a drone or something to give you that sense of scale. The sense of scale on the ground in Twisted is not good enough compared to Helicity, in my opinion. And this goes especially with vehicles in Twisted. Vehicles in Twisted, the truck compared to the Tiv 2, dude, it's not a good scale. Like in real life, a truck, a pickup truck, would be not even close to the size of Tiv 2 in real life. But in this game, it seems a lifted pickup truck is the same size as Tiv 2, if not even bigger, which I find hard to believe that's realistic. Now, so far throughout this video, it seems like I've been favoring Helicity, which I'm not. I'm actually a Twisted player. I'm just saying, Helicity's recent update has done a lot to do certain deeds that we don't have in Twisted, like scaling. I think Helicity's scaling is better when it comes to tornadoes and sizes and feeling how big those tornadoes actually are compared to your player and your vehicle, which that scaling topic is kind of a nitpick topic. You can say it is, isn't, whatever. You can agree with me, you can't agree with me, it's fine. You have your own opinions down below. But our next topic is where Twisted might actually just slam Helicity into the ground.
I've seen pictures. Who is he? He's the new you. No one's the new me, pal.
Twisted has a more detailed radar alongside a measurement unit and even a legend for beginners. Twisted has a more detailed thermodynamic sheet, including storm motion and composites. Twisted has more variants for your vehicles as well as a massive dealership. Twisted has better options for sounds, radar, render distance, even whitelisting people to your vehicle. And last but not least, Twisted has tons of customization for your vehicle. What not is there to ask for Twisted? Twisted absolutely dominates when it comes to customization, playability, and features. And last on this list, fun. Both games are really good at having fun times. I've had great times on Twisted and Helicity, and they all both have their up and downs, but in the end, they're both good storm chasing games. It's honestly down to your opinion on which one you want to play and which one you think is better. But in my personal opinion, I don't really care. You know, they're both great storm chasing games. Play whatever one you want. And I'll see y'all later.